Good evening, tubers. Matt and Roy back once again. Oh, what do you know? It's 7:57, starting about 3 minutes early. Wanted to do probably a very quick live stream because we are going to be leaving tomorrow morning, leaving my uncle's place here in Greene, heading back home, but not before a stop at our good friend's house right outside of Gettysburg. I'm not going to say their names just in case they really don't want me to. Trying a little bit later tonight because a lot of you have told me that you can't make the earlier live stream. So I want to see if we can get a whole new crowd of people here. We had a great trip here. We've spent a lot of time with the family. We had some real fun times at the Labor Day festivities. Actually went down there 3 separate times, once by myself, once with my uncle that lives here, and then once with my other uncle and my cousin. Bought a lot of things I probably shouldn't have, probably put on a few pounds while I was here, but don't worry, I'll be taking them off as soon as I get back home. But yeah, I mean, that is honestly about it. Now, I do want to let you know that I have planned when I get home, that is, some Village Variety or what is called the new Five and Dime hauls. I want to show you guys what I picked up there, some very interesting buys. I was going to do it here, but I figured it'd be better to wait till I got home, mainly because the lighting will be a lot better. And let's face it, stuff isn't going to be going anywhere. But I will let you guys know of a few items that I picked up since a lot of you live in the area. One, I picked up some generic bags of farina. I don't know if you ever heard of Wheatina farina. It's like a hot wheat cereal. Probably about a 3 or 4 pound bag of that for $1.50 in the store. That would be every bit of $4 or $5, and something I like to eat in the morning. It's very, very healthy to start your day off with a hot cereal, especially a hot wheat cereal. It doesn't have to be farina. It could be Wheatina, any of the wheat germ cereals. And please make sure that you don't eat this if you have celiac disease. This is for people that can handle gluten, because there is a lot of it in these particular cereals. So I picked that up. Picked up some orange marmalade, few K-cups and things. So I'm not going to give it all away. I'm going to wait pretty much till I get back home. Adam Whitaker is here, Chris Bartlett, George Stewart, Awesome Computers, Classic Mobile Home, and Mr. Jimmy. Very nice to see everybody. You guys can pretty much ask me anything you want until I get some questions. I'll give you guys some updates. You guys are probably wondering just how many computers I was able to fit in the Tahoe from that haul. Well, I will tell you this much. The Tahoe is pretty much packed. We did that. My uncle and I did that a few hours ago. We pretty much packed everything in there computer-wise, and we also packed a lot of our luggage. Now, tomorrow morning, I'm going to pack the rest of our luggage and see if there's any more room to fit computers. And I think I might be able to get maybe 2 or 3 more towers in there. So I'm going to turn you guys around a little bit if I can here. And you can see in the corner there that that's what's left right now. They are, we got 3 up and 5 across. So basically there's 15, what was that? Yeah, 15 towers left in total. So if I am indeed able to fit 2 or 3 more in there, I fully expect to get all but maybe 11 or 12 of those towers home. And that is quite a feat, considering I barely got those things in there when I brought them back from Bainbridge. What I'm going to actually do is we're coming back up probably around Thanksgiving, probably for Thanksgiving. So that's about 2.5 months from now. And what I'll do is I'll take the Tahoe again, or we'll take the Dodge Ram, not sure which, and then we'll bring the rest of the computers back then. Awesome Computer says, strip down the rest of the PCs. I've kind of done that. The ones that are here, I've taken the memory out of, especially the Optiplex 780s, because they all had at least 4 gigabytes of DDR3 in there, which I could definitely use at home. The hard drives, most of them were missing hard drives. The few that had the hard drives in there, they were only like 250 gig drives, so I really wasn't too worried about that. But it's going to be interesting getting home with all those computers. That is a lot of weight. Sonic Wang asked, do you ever buy anything? I love that name, by the way. Do you ever buy anything older or slower than Core 2 Duos, like old P4s or Atom netbooks? No, I don't, because for me, this is a business. I'm in the business of taking computers like this, refurbishing them, and reselling them. And unfortunately, anything older than that just really won't move. So no, the answer to that would be no. Adam Whitaker asked, my ThinkPad X300 is having problem with the Wi-Fi when sometimes I wake up, the laptop has problems connecting to the Wi-Fi. Okay. I've had this problem with laptops before. The first thing that you want to do is uninstall your wireless card driver, reboot the computer, let it reinstall the driver on its own, and then see if that fixes the problem. If it doesn't, then you want to go ahead and reboot the router in your house. Basically, if you have a modem and a router, turn off the modem and the router, turn the modem back on, wait about 5 minutes, then turn the router on, wait about another 5 minutes, and then try to reconnect with your laptop. But one of those two things should fix the problem. If it doesn't, then chances are the problem is with the wireless card itself. And if it's a laptop, it's actually easier just to get one of those little wireless and USB dongles from eBay. You can get them for $5 or $10. It's easier to do that than to buy another internal wireless card. Samuel Herron, I have a 386 DX40 with 8 megabytes of RAM. Wow, that is definitely a collector's item. The DX was the better of the two chips. Back in those eras, 286s, 386, 486s, you had the SX chips and the DX chips. And I believe the main difference between the two was the DX had the math coprocessor built in, whereas the SX processors didn't. You would actually have to buy a separate math coprocessor. Great, great computer. Definitely save that. That's going to be a real collector's item. It is now. In the near future, you probably get a lot of money for that. Chris Garrett hates to reboot his modem. It can take a lot of time, but sometimes that's the only thing you can do to get the Wi-Fi working again. I was never a big fan of Cyrix CPUs. They were okay, but they tended to run very hot, and I actually did see a few Cyrix processors go bad. And if you know anything about CPUs, they hardly ever go bad, and the only ones I ever saw go bad back in the day usually were the Cyrix ones. Nick Roberts, would you know why my Wi-Fi speed is all over the place on speed tests? I did 5 tests, get 45 megabits, then 69, 55, 78, 53. That's totally normal. You are going to get different throughputs because, especially if you're on cable internet, because you share a line with people, your throughput is always going to change depending on how many people are on that connection at one time. But even with things like files, fiber optic, it can change, and it can be a number of different factors. Crosstalk in the line, spikes and surges in the power grid, but no, that's totally normal. Mark Covington, do you remember me? Do you need a lifeline? No, I don't need a lifeline. I remember you, and that's why I tried to do this one a little bit later, because I know that you've missed the last few of them. But just to let you know, I can't always do them this late. I will try in the future to do them, as late as possible. But sometimes it'll be 5 p.m. Sometimes it'll be 6. Sometimes it'll be 8. It just depends on when I can do it. Awesome computers. I have an Innovator web PC from the 1990s that is in mint condition. I mean, I know what the web PCs were. It's probably like a prototype, like maybe before they released it to the public. Maybe is what they were using it like Gnome Decks or different trade shows. That would be my guess. Mm. Oh man, my allergies are bad again. They always are up here, but it'll clear up once we get back home. Honestly, Awesome Computers, I have no idea what that would be worth. I really have to do research. I know that the web PCs, like the consumer ones from the early 2000s, really aren't worth very much. But something like that, maybe. You definitely want to research that out. I am having a good day overall, Adam. We actually went, my uncle, my mom, and I went to the local mall here. I got a new belt, Calvin Klein belt, that I needed because my other belt was way too big. I was on the last loop. Then we went over to Walmart, got my uncle a new phone. He got the Samsung Galaxy J7 something. It's the one with the 5.3-inch screen, J7 Moon or something like that. They have these weird code names now, but I just helped him set that up. He got the Straight Talk one, which should be really nice. I had to teach him how to use the Google search, and he's happy. He's really happy right now. I'm going to look that up. Galaxy J7 Crown. That was it. Samsung Galaxy. Yeah, Samsung Galaxy J7 Crown is the one that he got. And I have to say, it's a decent phone. It's your typical consumer grade track phone, but it has some nice features. It does full 1080p video recording. It's got a octa-core processor. Actually, it's weird. It has a 6-core processor and then a dual-core processor. The 6-core processor, I think, runs like at 2.68 gigahertz. The dual-core runs at 2.53. So it has 8 cores technically, but it's not really an octa-core processor. It's got 16 gigabytes of built-in memory, but it can support up to a 128 gigabyte micro SSD card. So that's good. The only negative is it only has 2 gigabytes of RAM. So you are a little slow when it comes to multitasking. And that's one thing that really drives me crazy with these cheaper phones, like these phones you can get for under $100. They tend to only have like 2 gigabytes of memory. And the reason I think they do it is to force a lot of people, the power users, to get the more expensive phones like the Samsung Galaxy S7, S8, S9, and of course the S10. And believe it or not, those phones are available on Straight Talk, but you'll pay for them. I mean, you can get a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge for Straight Talk, but it's going to cost you like $300-400, and then the S8's like $500 or $600. The 9 is like $700 or $800, and then the 10 is like $1,000. So they know what they're doing. These companies know how to eke out the profit, and if you're willing to go with a cheaper phone, then yeah, by all means, don't buy the really expensive ones. I mean, my uncle is a basic user, so he can go with the less expensive phone. But for somebody like me that uses his phone for basically everything, I need to have the 4 gigs of RAM, the octa-core processor, all the bells and whistles. Sam Heron, bought an S10, missed the home button. Yeah, I have not worked with the S10, honestly. I have not even had a chance to look at it yet, but I've heard good and bad about them. I'm very happy with my Galaxy S9 Plus. I'll stick with that for a good long while. Chris Garrett goes, the S9 costs like $430. It was more at Cricket. Yeah, it depends. It really depends on what carrier you're going with. I've seen them as cheap as like $300 with Boost Mobile, I think it was. But for Straight Talk, it's something ridiculous like $600 or $700. Boss computers have a Moto G5, 2 gigs of RAM, and I'm a power user. Yeah, I mean, you can get away with it, but it's going to be slow compared with a phone that has, 4 and 8 and 6, and even some of these new ones have 8 gigabytes of RAM. You got to remember, the more memory you have in your cell phone, the more you can multitask. Somebody like me, I might have 3 or 4 things going at once. Like I may have my Waze app going. I'll have my text messaging service going. I might have a YouTube video playing in the background because I'm listening to music. When you start multitasking on your phone like that, 2 gigabytes of RAM really isn't that much. You will really start to slow down after you do maybe two different things on it. Great. That's a great. I'm sorry, I can't even think right now. That's a great example as computers. Web browsing, having multiple pages open, that tends to use a lot of memory too. I honestly don't game on my phone. I have a tablet, my old, matter of fact, oh, I put it away already. It's an old Kindle Fire HD 7-inch, one of the original ones, and I play like Angry Birds Rio on there once in a while, but that's really the extent of any kind of gaming that I do. Wow, I am so I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm getting so many responses or questions. I'm having a hard time here. Let me see. Storm Spotter. Let's change the subject a little bit. Hey Matt, how good to see you. How's the weather down there? Well, right now I'm up in New York, Greene, New York, where I was at a big emphasis. So the weather's really nice, about 55, 60 degrees, low humidity. I'm sure in Virginia right now it's not like that at all. We are going to be getting some effects from Hurricane Dorian, or I think by the time it gets there, it might even be a tropical storm Dorian. But it's going to stay off the coast. We're only supposed to get in our area of Virginia like maybe 25, 30 mile an hour winds. So I'm not really too worried about it. Excuse me one second. Yeah, had an itchy nose. You guys didn't want to see that. Can you get sponsors? I probably could, but honestly, I'm not sure I want to go that route with my channel. When you have sponsors, you're kind of beholden to them, and you have to pretty much do what they want and do what they say. So I could get some sponsors, but honestly, I probably wouldn't want to. How many vlogs have I done? I don't think I could even count. It's probably in the thousands, though. Samuel Heron, what did you have for dinner? Okay, yeah, going towards food. Okay, well tonight I kind of had a lunch for dinner. I had 2 chicken salad sandwiches on little ciabatta buns. That's why I had 2 of them. They're only about maybe that big, a little bit bigger than a deck of cards. I put a slice of fresh tomato that we got from a farm stand on each sandwich, and I had a cup of my uncle's 15 bean soup, and that was pretty much my dinner. I'm trying to be good because every day we've been here, I've been eating like crap. I've been having cake, ice cream, candy, pretty much everything I wanted, and I'm not really that. I don't really feel totally guilty about it because I knew it was probably going to happen while I was here. But I've been able to keep up the exercise, and I don't think I've really gained any weight. If I have, it may have just been a pound or two. But when I get back home, it's going to be the status quo. And I am fully expecting by the next time I come up here, should be in November, to be at or around 200 pounds. Maybe even 199 would be nice. Itchy nose, someone coming to see you. I always heard that when you have an itchy nose, then it means you want to fight. You're itching for a fight. But I guess there are different ways of saying it. Mark Covington, hey Matt, is there any chance you may one day have your downloadable app for any smartphone? I don't know. I don't know. I've looked into making apps, but I'd have to really have a good idea of what I'd want to do. Like maybe an app that would. I'll be honest with you. If I was to make an app, I would really want it to be like a garage sale finder app because I've yet to find one that I really, really like. I do use Yard Sale Treasure and a few of them like that, but honestly, they're not the greatest. They don't always report every sale that's in the area, and sometimes the sales they do report are old or they've been canceled. Got a $2 super chat from Samuel Heron. Thank you so much. I always appreciate the super chats. I always, I don't count on them, but the way I look at it is it's a tip. You guys like what I'm doing? If you want to leave a tip, you can do it in the form of a super chat. Eric Brunhammer said, when I stopped at the rest stop on the Atlantic City Expressway, they had a farm stand out there. Interesting. I've only ever seen that in one other rest stop, and that was the one on the way to my aunt's right outside of Elmira. And I think what they were doing is it was part of like the Lions Club, and it was cool. Not only did they have like fresh produce, you know, they had like corn, they had tomatoes, they had, you know, the usual suspects, but they also had like fresh honey, fresh maple syrup, things like that. It was actually really cool. Awesome Computers, when do you think you will get 10,000 subs? Probably when I get back home and I start doing more computer-related videos. Honestly, I know you guys like those videos, and I try. But it's hard sometimes. You know, my passions change, and you guys will see some more computer-related videos. You'll definitely see some more cooking videos. I have some really interesting ideas for that Instapot that Mom got for her birthday. I don't know. You know what? YouTube is a passion of mine, but it's not my main focus. I like doing what I do on YouTube. I like doing the live streams. There might be times that I'll start getting back more into vlogs, but we'll just have to see. Reviews for noobs. Make an app that shows your YouTube channel, Facebook, act and alert people when you post on Facebook or YouTube. My friend made an app like this and made money off the ads on the app. Very interesting. I'll have to look that up. I want to make an app that nobody's done before, or one that nobody's done well. And that's what made me think about something like the Yard Sale Treasures. You like my cat videos. Awesome Computer says your PC videos are good, and so are your cat videos. I'm assuming you meant to say are. Yeah, I love my two guys, Milo and Baxter, and I miss them. I really do, honestly. I mean, it's hard to be away from your pets for that long. And I do miss my dad too. Don't get me wrong, I do miss my dad. But you know what? You know, my cats snuggle up with me at night. They cuddle around my neck sometimes. Milo especially likes to come up, and you know, it's just something you miss. You know, yeah, it's nice to get away, but it's also nice to stay home. $3 from Samuel Heron. I so appreciate those, and they do go to good use. A lot of the money that I get in the form of super chats will go to getting better equipment for doing these videos. Matter of fact, a while back, the money I got from YouTube paid for the SSD that I put in this ProBook, which actually allows me to use this thing more efficiently. I don't program. You don't even really need to know a programming language. There are app creation tools out there. I mean, programming is really a thing of the past when it comes to, making apps. There are other means to do that, but it would be nice. I was always more on the hardware side of things. Chris Garrett goes, I got a dog whistle app and it works. My poodle is very smart. He knew I was doing it and he knew it was coming from my phone. Yeah, poodles are very intelligent. You know, my cats, I have an app on my phone that makes different cat noises, and they got wise to it pretty quickly. It's literally called Cat Sounds. And the one that always calls Baxter is, I think, Hungry. Let me see. I think it's. And, and this one. But yeah, they got wise to that pretty quick. They don't even come to it anymore. Awesome Computers goes, I want to learn Python since I'm exploring stuff like robotics. Yeah, and I believe JavaScript is another good language to learn because believe it or not, a lot of robotics are working online now, like through virtual machines. And from what I understand, a lot of them still use JavaScript. Oh, that's right. Reviews for Noobs. 11 watching, 10 likes. Awesome. Dogs looked at me when I played that. Yeah, some dogs don't like cats. I don't know if yours do, but well, at the very least, they heard it and they said, "Oh, is that a cat? Where's the cat? Maybe I want to go play with that cat." Oh, I got to get another sip of water. So, another thing I want to let you guys know about. We're leaving the bikes here. I don't know if you guys saw, but I brought up 3 different bikes. I've been going around to garage sales a lot lately, buying tons of bicycles, just basically getting ones because I knew I was going to do this eventually. And sure enough, I was able to take the Tahoe up here. We bought 3 different bikes up. I brought my older Huffy Ironman, which is actually in really good shape, brought my mom's old purple and pink Murray bike, and I bought a cheap Walmart bike, a Power X with a big X on it. And we're going to leave them here. I mean, they're not particularly great bikes, but the idea behind it was every time we come up, we always wish we could ride bikes. Well, now we got 3 bikes that are going to stay here. Every time we come up, we can ride them. And, you know, when we're not here, my uncle and maybe his buddies can ride them, or my cousins if they come up. So I'm actually going to be looking out for more bikes at yard sales. And that's another thing I've been trying to get into because you guys probably know by now that other than computers, I'm doing the whole reselling gig where, you know, I buy things at garage sales, you know, thrift stores, you know, auctions, and I try to flip them. And bikes are a really good option, but you have to have a good eye for them. You got to know which bikes bring a good amount of money. And I've been doing a lot of research, and my Uncle Kevin, has been riding bikes for years. So I'll actually call him sometimes if I see a good bike. I'll say, hey, or I'll text him, say, hey, I see a Mongoose something at the garage sales, or if it's something that I've never heard of that I think is high end, I'll text them and ask them if it's worth picking up. And believe it or not, you can get some really good deals on high-end bikes at garage sales. I mean, they are out there. You just got to keep your eyes open. Awesome. We got a $5 super chat from Mark Covington. I know he's been waiting to do this. He said, Matt, make sure you do a live stream at 8 or later so I can come there and give a super chat. And he did. I'm going to do a shout out. Mark Covington, thank you so much for that. And again, that's going to go to helping out this channel, making it even better. Chris Garrett says, Greene seems like a good town. You can leave things and not worry about someone stealing. Absolutely. This is one of those small towns, and true story. Ever since I've been here riding my bike around, I've been taking my bike up to the new Five and Dime Village Variety, whatever you want to call it. They have a bike rack out there. I put it in there, and I don't chain it up. I just leave it there. I go inside for 10, 15, 20 minutes, chat with the owner because he and I are pretty much buddies at this point. Come back out, the bike is there. Same thing when I ride to the other end of town to go to the Dollar General. I literally just leave it right out front by like the charcoal or the, what else they have? They like the bottled water. Go in there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, come out, the bike's right there, or go up next door to the Great American. It really is nice that we still have these small town America towns that you can feel safe in. I mean, that you don't have to worry about your things getting stolen. Thank you, Brad Smith. So I hope you have a safe trip home. I hope it's safe and uneventful. I've had issues in the past, usually nothing major, but I don't mind traveling, and I don't mind driving long distances. As long as I don't get stuck into traffic, I don't get into potholes, I don't have any breakdowns. And lately we've been pretty good in that area. $4. Sam, you got to stop it, man. Oh, I appreciate it. $4. So what do we have here? I'm going to add this up real quick. 4, was that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have $9 from Samuel Heron and $5 from Mark Covington in the form of super chats. Awesome. Very awesome. Chris Garrett says, I live in a smaller town, but we have had thieves steal four-wheelers, even stole guns out of the trucks. Some people set up deer cameras. Yeah, I'm sure they'd probably steal those too if they weren't locked up. Yeah, it's pretty much the same where we live in Virginia too. Our area is not that safe. Like, we couldn't leave our bikes out. Even if I left them out in the backyard, chances are they'd get stolen. And that's why I really want to move up here. And I want to give you guys an update on that, because about a year ago, I told you guys there was a very good chance that I'd be moving up here this year. Well, unfortunately, that hasn't come to fruition because the person I was going to rent the house from hasn't actually had a chance to work on the house. Things have come up, and, unfortunately, probably going to have to put that off for at least another year. But that's okay. Things happen in their own time. You really can't force change. Change will come on its own. Right now, I'm content where I am and doing what I do for you guys and gals, guys and gals. Eric goes, sadly, I've given 20 to Leon Seidman earlier this week, so I'm unable to give today. I know you don't require that. Of course not. Like I said, I look at super chats as a tip. You guys like what I'm doing? It's like if you went to a restaurant, you would tip your waiter. Same deal. Mark Covington, hey, Matt, hope you can remember my 57th happy birthday this coming November 17th. May want to mark it on your calendar. Actually, I think I know I follow you on Facebook, so I definitely have that marked on the calendar. And I'm going to try to do something special. If we are in town, I need to find out, because that's around the time that we come back up here for Thanksgiving. But yeah. Let's see. Let's mark that down. See if we can do something special for your 57th. Wow, that is definitely a milestone. And you're in really good shape, and that's why I don't like to toot my own horn, and I'm really not doing the fitness thing all for myself. A lot of it is to show you that you guys can lead a more healthy lifestyle. And, I'm 36. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are days that I feel my age, like my lower back has been hurting me lately, mainly because I've been bike riding a lot. I have my aches and pains. But to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have as many if I didn't spend 20 years of my life obese. I'm not even going to say overweight. I spent 20 years of my life in the obese range. And yeah, that did take a toll on my body. But the good thing is you can reverse it. I mean, look at me. A year and a half, 2 years ago, I was 350 pounds. Now, 205 to 210. I'm going to give that range because, I may have put on a pound or two since we've been here, but I am physically fit now. I get my exercise in every day. Give you a good example. Today I've walked 15,969, so we'll say 16,000 steps, and I've probably bike rode, I would say, at least 8 to 10 miles, and that's an average day for me. That is a lot more exercise than most people need. That's the kind of exercise you need to do to lose weight, which I'm still trying to do. But if you're only trying to maintain weight, as long as you get 10,000 steps in a day, you're good. Or do a mixture of it. Get 5,000 steps in and maybe bike ride 5 miles. I mean, there are a lot of different things you can do to get exercise in. With that being said, I am going to have to end this live stream because I need to get to bed early. Believe it or not, I still have a load of laundry in the dryer. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you again to Mark Covington and Samuel Heron for their super chats. Please continue to like and subscribe. For those of you that are Christians, keep us in your prayers for traveling mercies. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.